Hi, welcome to tutorial 6.2 part 1. This is on the energy of photons. So what we're doing here, we're switching gears a little bit. Up to now we've talked about light as a wave. Now we're going to talk about light as something that's like a particle, like little chunks of light. And those little chunks, those particles of light, are referred to as photons. And we're going to think about those photons as they interact with the electron in an atom to learn more about atoms. At least that's the point of what we're trying to get to. All right, so let's have a look at this first one. Here's the question. It says it takes 5 electron volts of energy to remove an electron from a cobalt atom. Let's first unpack what that means. This has several terms associated with it. So this is supposed to be a cobalt atom. And what we're saying is that when energy is given to this electron, there's a certain requirement. 5 electron volts have to be given to it to remove the electron from the atom. That's referred to as the binding energy for that electron, how much energy it's bound with, or it's also called the work function, how much work we have to do to remove that electron. In any case, for this cobalt, it's 5 electron volts. So the next sentence says, if the metal is exposed to photons of light with 7 electron volts. So what we're imagining here is that these little blue dots represent little chunks of light, little photons. And each of those chunks of light is going to interact one at a time with this electron. And the question we're asked is, how much kinetic energy will be left over after we eject those electrons, on the assumption that we came in with enough energy both to remove the electron and still have some energy left over. Well, you can tell by looking. I come in with 7 per chunk. I give all that energy to this electron that needs 5 to get it away from the atom. Well, how much is left over? Well, just 2. 7 minus 5 is just equal to 2. So, of course, the math is trivial. You're just subtracting 2 numbers. But the idea behind it does take getting used to. I mean, the idea that light now should be thought of as little chunks. And I think the thing students get a little confused about is, how am I supposed to imagine these chunks? Is it one chunk of light has a certain amount of energy? And the answer is yes. And yet the amount that it has is dependent upon the frequency of light, which we actually associate with light as a wave. So the terms are slightly confused. Let's look at another question like this one. And you'll see it's pretty much the same question. The only difference here is that we've changed the units on you. So this time we have light coming in with 11.2 times 10 to the minus 19 joules instead of being told electron volts. And here the work function or binding energy is again given in joules, 8 times 10 to the minus 19. But the problem is the same. One of these little blue dots here is supposed to represent a photon of light. It interacts with this electron one at a time. And when it does, it gives it all its energy. Well, 11.2 is larger than 8, so we have enough energy to remove the electron, and we'll have some left over. Notice the powers of 10. 10 to the minus 19 for both of these. Therefore, since they have the same power of 10, I can just subtract the number up front directly. 11.2 minus 8 leaves me with 3.2 times 10 to the minus 19 is the energy that's left over. It will be left over in the form of kinetic energy. It's going to be energy that the electron has that's going to have it moving through space. All right, one more, and then we're done with this. So let's look at this one. It says the surface of tin this time instead of cobalt is exposed to light. Again, a photoelectron. What's this fancy term means? It means an electron that was ejected by an interaction with a photon. That's called a photoelectron. It's ejected. This time it has a kinetic energy that we're given, 8.93 times 10 to the minus 19. Last time we had to find that number. So we're told how much energy you have left over when you're done. That's something you can measure in a lab. And we're also told that the work function, this term, the binding energy for tin, is 7.07 times 10 to the minus 19. That number there is the energy required to remove that electron from a tin atom. And we should say there's different electrons in tin. This is a particular electron that requires this much energy. What was the energy of the photon that came in to make this happen? You say, well, I must have delivered enough energy to have both of this distribution of energy take place. 7.07 plus 8.93 is roughly 16, or is 16 times 10 to the minus 19, or if we put it in scientific notation, 1.6 times 10 to the minus 18 joules. So the idea that light comes in these chunks is a little bit off or odd to deal with when we just talked about light being a wave. But if you get over that particular hurdle, what we're talking about here is relatively straightforward to decipher. One chunk of light at a time interacts with the electron. The binding energy may or may not be given. It's the energy required to remove the electron from the atom. And then this thing that we can measure in the lab is given often as well, the amount of energy that's left over after the electron has been ejected from the atom. All right, so give those a shot. You're either adding two numbers or subtracting two in terms of the actual quiz. So that part I know will not give you any trouble. Okay, see you in class. Talk to you later.